Your Audi is a senior pursuing a degree in higher education. Your Audi is avid in creative writing. Your Audi has a BFA in film. Your Audi is an avid film watcher who has found himself working on his first movie. Your Audi is 400 years old. Your Audi has an appreciation for figure painting. Your Audi loves his feline friend. Please try to enjoy each fact equally. Your Audi has an appreciation for Mexican cuisine. Your Audi is gay and has a connection to classical music. Your Audi once took psychedelics and convinced themselves they did a crime. Your Audi is making horror films. Your Audi does not like fish.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, kind of a different vibe today we got going for us. We're actually here at Lumen headquarters on the severed floor. My name is Sean P. Beside me, I have...
I'm Chelle K.
I'm Billy B.
And our Audis said that this is something that they call coffee and credits.
How do we know what our Audis said?
It was in the message that they left for us for our integration onto the severed floor.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, yeah, you tried to find a loophole in my whole fucking thing. We're not severed, but we're going to talk about Severance.
Guys. Hey,
how's it going? It's Sean and Chelle and Billy. We're not severed. Guys, it's just a joke. It's just a joke, guys. Oh, what you got? Oh, shit.
I thought I could wait until after the episode, but I'm really hungry. I have a jelly donut.
Isn't that from a day ago?
Yeah.
That's just like Agent Cooper.
But if you can't tell, guys, we're talking about Severance. We're not only talking about movies, we're talking about TV.
Yeah.
Talking about television.
We like watching shows.
We do.
We watching movies.
And what's more topical than, oh my god, you are fucking
you're like Truman in that one scene.
When he just shoves the rest of the donut in his mouth. But nothing is more topical right now than Severance. It's been over for a good couple weeks now. My god, I miss it dearly.
Yeah.
We literally just last night we caught Billy up on the end of season 2. Me and Chelle watched it as it was airing weekly, and we were like, this guy's got to watch it. So we sat Billy down. We rewatched all of season 1 and 2. And now we're here to talk about it. But like shit, guys. Like if you oh wow, you bite the donut bites back. It's gonna be a long episode, guys.
All right.
But yeah, Billy, like fresh off the coattails of the finale. Oh, spoilers! Fuck.
Yeah,
there's gonna be
we can't tiptoe around that.
No, we're not tiptoeing around shit. If you have not seen all of Severance season 1 and 2, do yourself a favor and go do it.
Yeah,
if you've only seen part of it, if you've seen none of it, fuck, watch it.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta tap in now.
Initial thoughts, fresh off the coattails, literally last night of watching the finale.
We gotta get that Milchick redemption arc, dude. We gotta get shit started now.
Season 3, baby. I could feel it.
Yeah.
I could feel it. I didn't realize that in that one scene, I was kind of smacked last night, but there was a scene where Milchick kind of cried a little bit.
I think so.
He was teared up, I think, after, I think it was Mark put him in his place, or who... He got put in his place by someone.
I think, yeah.
Was it Helly?
It was when... Wait... It was when he was... No. It wasn't in the last episode. It was in the 9th episode.
Yeah.
It was when Mark called him...
about work and life balance.
Yeah. And Milchick started crying.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember that. Okay.
I want to circle back to this later, because, we got right into the specifics, but fuck! Oh my god, let's start with season 1 of the show.
Yeah.
Because, what better place to start?
Yeah.
And, holy shit, what a way of, getting people hooked on the show. Because what other show does things like Severance does?
Yeah.
It is so one of a kind.
Not really anything else I can think of, that I can even use as, a reference point.
And it's, it's perfect, I think, for this, we're going to use some smart words here, but in this world that we're currently living in, post-fucking capitalism, everything, It's the show is a brilliant critique of capitalism and the horrors that it has on the psyche, and that is why I love it so much. And the first season does not pull any fucking punches. They get into it right away. And it's so cool. It is so cool.
Yeah.
Mark is hot, Helly's hot, Gemma's hot,
Milkshake's hot.
There we go.
There's a lot to touch on, but like the intro. Intro.
Dude, we could have an entire fucking episode just about that.
It's
like,
so cool.
We should have an episode about episode intros. Like we could do Severance, Succession,
Twin Peak.
Twin Peak. Well, yeah, we could do Twin Peak because of that fuck ass bird.
Yeah.
I got issues with him. Find out next episode.
But yeah, the intro. Yeah, go ahead.
But I love Severance because I work in an office, so I can appreciate the like corporate. My brain. Oh fuck.
Corporate like
balance.
environment or
like the corporate symbolism, the corporate like themes in the show. Obviously, blah, 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 you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just because like Sean, your dad keeps referring to it as like a sci-fi show, and I think highlighting the fact that it is a sci-fi show is so interesting because
it's technology that doesn't exist.
Exactly. And like I can appreciate sci-fi for what it's worth, but I'm a very hard critic with movies, especially movies that like I'm not a huge like fan of the genre, and like sci-fi is very hard for me to get into. But they take it beyond sci-fi into a place that is more like body horror almost, and like that is what I really enjoy because like in every episode like when me and Sean were watching, like when the three of us were watching and all over TikTok when we were watching it like weekly, this second season we
bandwagoned.
When that scene of him running came out and everyone was like, fuck, I gotta watch Severance, we were part of that.
We were on the bandwagon. Sorry, we didn't watch 3 years ago. Fake fans, I guess. Gatekeepers. Who am I mad at?
No one. It's like all the time. I love gatekeeping though. Anyways, but
trying to get back on my train of thought. Hold on.
Sci-fi, body horror.
Oh, every episode, every single person in the world who was watching it had the question in the forefront of their minds of, would you sever yourself? Or what would you do in this situation? Especially at the end of season 2. Spoilers!
Yeah, one final spoiler. Considering what we're about to talk about.
If you haven't watched it, stop watching. If you don't care, keep watching.
Yeah.
We love you anyway.
That's true.
Leave a like and comment, though. We kind of need it.
Yeah.
No, we don't need it because like we're so cool and self-assured. But like if you want to leave it for us,
like the people at church that come around with that stupid fucking hat on a stick. Give me money.
Yeah. So the donations basket.
I didn't know Borat went to your church.
Give me money. Give me money at the church.
Getting back on the train.
Yeah.
Fuck. What was the train?
If you would sever yourself.
Yeah. End of season 2, episode 10.
Yeah. Me. Oh yes. Even in that last episode, like my favorite thing is like because really I'm just a girl at heart. I'm non-binary. I don't have to keep validating this. But like the whole question was like, would like asking your partner like, if you were in Mark's place, would you choose me or would you choose Ellie? And like it's such an arbitrary question because, and like of course I asked Sean it obviously, but the discussion, but he wasn't like,
I did.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, of course. But he wasn't like, yeah, I would choose. Like we had like this discussion of like it's an arbitrary question because
it wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any Mark was in love with Helly. Gemma knew that the Mark she was talking to was severed, and like we're jumping around.
Did she?
Well, yes. Because here's my point. Because Gemma understands Severance. She literally went from that bottom floor kicking up Drummond's dead little feet to outside that door. She can and she also was severed time and 26 times, right?
I have a pen for whenever. Like, but does she know that Mark is severed?
Yes, because I think because Gemma is she's been proven to be very smart and very aware of what is happening to her on the floor she's on. Like that, because she's not on the severed floor, but she's on the floor where she's severed a billion times.
Yeah.
I think she can conceptualize, like, if she knows, like, I'm thinking about it in, like, child development terms and, like, very simple, like, dog training kind of terms. Like, if she goes inside a room, doesn't remember it, and comes outside that same room, I think she can conceptualize going up the elevator. So, therefore, entering the room, Miss Casey down the hallway, going through that door, I think she can understand, like, okay, fuck, like, this isn't the Mark that I know, because this is my biggest point, like, and I thought of this on rewatch. The way she was talking and begging Mark to come outside was not the way you would be begging your husband of 4 years who you just found for the first time to, like, come back. Like, she was begging him like a dog, almost. She was saying, like, come on, Mark, come on, we have to go home, come on. And it wasn't like, Mark, please, I need you, like, this is the time we can be together, we finally fucking found each other, hello, knock some sense into you.
I guess it does sound like she's talking to an innie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the same, like, argument of, like, was Helly at the end of that, was Helly Helena or Helly, which I want to organize this. That'll be our next topic, I think, because that's also a very, like, but I think Gemma did understand that it was Mark, at least maybe not like severed Mark S, but like I think she could understand that it was not the Mark that she knew and that like she like wanted back, because she like could understand, like, she went from elevator to outside very quick, but also, like, just the fact of, like, back to, like, the, like, arbitrary question, like, would you still love me if I was a worm? Would you choose me or Helly if you were Mark S? Like, I would, there's 3 arguments that I want to talk about on the Severance episode, but for this one, like, I just feel like, Gemma has every right to be upset, obviously, but I think she can also understand that it wasn't Mark, and I think I guess this is my prediction, but I think she can, like, go home, figure it the fuck out, and eventually at some point Mark is going to have to leave that floor, because his chip is only for that floor, and yeah, there's a ton of rooms. But my prediction for, like, the first episode of season 3 is Mark and Helly in the same font of, like, Mark running through the floors season 2 episode opening. I feel like it's going to be Mark and Helly running through the floors, running into different rooms, trying to figure out where they can, like, stay hidden. In the same, again, in the same,
I can font. Like, envision that in my head right now. Like, I can see them running through all
They got to start every season with a running sequence. Yeah.
They know they do. But, like, then it also brings up the point of, like, was that Helly or was it Helena? And at the
we'll
end
get
of
to that
episode,
later. I fucking hate that conversation.
Why?
But I think before we keep talking about specifics, I want to touch on, like, the broad aspects of the show instead of just diving right into specific stuff. But
I love my specifics.
we're gonna fucking get to that. The first season, I love how, like, effortlessly they build this world.
Yeah.
Like, it's so impressive that, like, they leave all these little hints around and how, like, it all culminates so perfectly by that 9th episode of season 1. It's just, like, all the little things, they were so flawless. Like, Irving's relationship with Bert! And, like, Helly being the entire driving force of that first season. Because, like, you think about it, I was talking about this with Chelle the other day, it's like, the events of Severance weren't going to happen if Helly wasn't there. Like, Helly is the reason everything happens in the first season. Because, like, Mark, Irving, and Dylan are more or less complacent and content with where they were at before Helly came.
If Helly never showed up, they just would have done their work until
literally
whatever. Until,
and it's like, she was the main focal point of that first season, and I think that was such an incredible choice because, like, Mark is our main character, but Helly is the driving force for the show, and that is a dynamic that I really want more shows to touch on.
Yeah.
You could kind of argue that Succession does that, but we'll be talking about Succession, like, months from now on this show.
When Billy finishes.
Yeah.
When Billy finishes.
But like, like, to touch on that, I feel like looking back on it, again, from like a broader perspective, like with the context that Helly is an Egan, obviously, or Helena is an Egan, and like she is, ooh, what's his name? Jame, the creepy fuck, yeah, Jame.
I wish you'd take them raw. Gross.
Oh, I hate his
gross. Fuck! The way he says fuck in that finale.
But
Jamie Egan, if you're watching this, fuck you.
We don't want you on the show. We will never have you on.
Get
but
Mr.
if you're
Milchick
the actor,
off my ass.
you were really
If you're
good.
the actor, we'll have you on. You're cool.
How you doing?
But
He brings us eggs. All right.
I think it's so interesting to think, or like consider the motif of the show in season 1 being this very like corporate capitalist kind of like, or anti-corporate, anti-capitalist kind of thing, and then put my mic away, contextualizing it with season 2, learning that Helly is an Egan and like all of that. It's such an interesting dynamic if you take away like all of the details and everything of this story, and like, oops, I'm gonna relate it to Succession a little bit, but this story of like a daughter or a child feeling so like uncomfortable and so needing to do something that like she being Helly goes as far as to accept being severed, letting herself enter a position of no autonomy at all over what that innie does. And, like, it almost feels like Helena is very fully aware that she just wants to fuck her father over. And, like, that is some evidence for my point of that Helly was Helena in the last episode. But, like, certain little details of, like, even Helena, which I know was the reason she went back up as Helena, but, like, her looking at the footage of Helly and Mark kissing and stuff. And, like, I feel like, again, kind of relating it to Succession in the position of, like, thinking about Shiv as the only daughter
There will not be spoilers here.
No, yeah.
I figured.
Yeah.
I figured you wouldn't.
Thinking of Shiv as the sole daughter of someone so business-minded, so convinced that he is changing the world for something good, is so powerful. Like, relating Helena to Shiv, just because we watched the 2 shows back-to-back, and, like, they're also 2 of my favorite characters in media ever. Like, I feel like they both have this, like, desire to take over, like, the man, and I'm not talking about, like, the man with the penis, the man as, like, the man, stick it to the man, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they have this urge to, like, stick it to the man and will do anything and everything they can to do so, and I feel like that is, like, just this kind of, like, or not detail, but, like, this element of the, like, makeup of Severance's, like, story that, like, I feel like a lot of people kind of neglect, where, like, Helly, like, if we think that, like, certain strong emotions transcend severance, or being severed, it helps my point, but, like, I feel like Helly and Helena the same, just have this desire to, like, they want something better and they realize what the situation they're in is not good enough for them and that they can do better. And I think that both of their efforts are, like, fully, like, pushed by, like, trying to, again, stick it to the man.
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, with, like, corporate and capitalism, whatever, I feel like that's such, like, a social dynamic of Severance that, like, the only other show that I've seen do it in such, like, a kind of, not, like, sneaky way, but, like, this hidden, like, you really have to dig to find it way. Like, again, it's, like, Succession. Like, it's nothing to do with gender so much as having to do with being a daughter, capital D, and, like, having a father, capital F. And, like, I don't know anything about that. My papa died, so... But I'm just going from what I saw or what I've seen in media, and I think, like, the focus is very always, like, Mark and Gemma and Devin and Rickon. And, like, I feel like it's so interesting to also touch on, like... And there's also this, like, everyone's having their own revolution. And I feel like that is like the central theme that season 2 kind of gave us.
Yeah, I agree. I think.
And I kind of like, because Irving literally said it with his words, like he's revolting in his way.
Yeah.
Mark is revolting in the most obvious kind of like hand-fed to us way. And
Kelly Dillon in the band, literally.
Yeah.
And like Dylan is revolting in both his innie and outie form, and like I will ramble again. I'm gonna let these two fucking talk for a second. I'm gonna ramble again when we get to Dylan, because he's my favorite character and I have a lot of feelings about that.
But yeah, no, you're such a good talker.
Oh, thanks.
You are. I like
Thanks.
listening to you talk.
Aw, thanks.
But yeah, fuck, man. It's like how does the show make you feel? Because you work the most like office 9 to 5 kind of job.
I work a 9 to 5. I work at, pretty much I'm the closest to fucking Lumen that like any of us are in this room. I mean, yeah, like it's exactly what you were saying about like the whole like corporate like atmosphere, like that, like those sort of themes. Like it's all like they hit the nail on the head. Like it's all fucking like the ideas of that are very like.
Plus
I think they do them well.
You literally go into work and your name is William.
Yeah, that's
You pretty much fucking sever yourself.
that's true. Yeah,
It's so cool, and like I really like looking at Severance under I cannot believe I'm about to like do this. I need to send this next part to Professor Powers at my school. Shout outs. Published author, public professor, so I'm gonna name drop him. I'm gonna talk about him, what I've learned from him.
shouts out as always.
It's fucking goated. I'm gonna send this next clip to him. But I love analyzing not Succession. Severance under the lens of Marxist theory. And before you guys in the comments are like, hey, how come you're talking about Marx? It has nothing to do with communism. Marxist theory is literally just how is the worker and the working class represented in this piece of literature or media. And Severance, they hit it right on the fucking head immediately. Like, you know exactly what they're going for. I think in the first episode they bring up the work-life balance.
Yeah, they do.
Which, that is such poison. That is poison, and I hate it. Like, I'm very lucky. I'm very privileged that I don't have, like, a 9 to 5. I do my own thing, and I'm, like, afloat and, like, whatever. Like, I'm all good.
Well, like you don't work in an office.
I don't. And, like the fact of the matter is that I have a very good job and I love my job and I'm very privileged that I have my job. But in terms of like the workforce, the 9 to 5 workforce, the idea of the work-life balance is complete bullshit because you spend 40 hours a week doing something that like likely you don't fucking love it. You bring home the bacon.
Yeah.
That is like why you are doing it. And then you have Saturdays and Sundays. What the fuck? That's not balance. That isn't balance.
Yeah.
And it's because of unions and workers and like worker strikes that we have weekends and holidays. Like these things didn't exist until unions and workers. And when you look at Severance, like I said, they hit it right on the fucking head immediately by critiquing the work-life balance and literally creating something that, for what it's worth, you go down this fucking elevator and you come right back up and it's 5:30. But somebody worked that shift.
Yeah.
You worked it, but it wasn't you. So imagine reversing that, and every single second of your existence is working. It's horrifying. It's horror. It's horror, and it scares me, and it victimizes the working class because it fucking has to. Look at where we're at in the world right now.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's, like, they are getting richer and we are getting poorer. And I love the way that the show defends the working class. And it is kind of showing us in that last season, like, hey, guys, this should be a class war. This should be a class war. No more fucking culture war. Fuck. I just think Marxist criticism is really cool.
Yeah,
I think it's very
agree.
cool. Shout out Professor Powers. Thank you for teaching me about Marxist theory. I wrote about it in like 4 of your papers. So, thank you.
Shouts out.
No, but I agree because like I feel like they hone in on this like because okay, first the idea of us 22, 23 years old sitting on this couch looking at you saying like the work-life balance is fucked up. If you are older than us, you will look at us generationally like
well, this generation's just kind of lazy.
And then, like, the younger generation will look at us and be like, well, I guess that's what we're going for, right? And it's really this, like, double-edged sword that I've had the deep, deep pleasure, if we're talking about professors, I love my professors, like, being able to talk with professors. Like, Sean has told me so much about his talks with Professor Powers, and, like, gotta meet that man. I've read his articles before Sean even took classes with him on psychedelics.
Actually?
Yes.
That's sick as hell.
I did.
I'm gonna have to tell you about it, like,
tell
some
me
of the
after.
specifics after.
The TLDR is, like, I did a lot of research and, like, stuff on psychedelics before I took them, but I disguised them as, like classwork. Did pretty good on them. But I read a lot of his papers, not a lot, like 2, but of his papers before. And Sean was like, yeah, this is my professor's name. And I was like, wait, famous. But speaking of professors, like, having the ability to discuss certain things like that with an older generation in a very safe place like higher education is really, really great and really, really nice. And one of my professors, Kat Balco, shout out Kat Balco, my love, I love her. She's in so many states away now. But she is, like, our parents' age, obviously. And, like, we've had so many talks about this idea of, like the hustle, quote unquote, and, like, this idea of, like these, like, kind of, like, finance bros of our generation that are like, we need to make millions, we need to make $10 bajillion.
You gotta fall in love with the grind. You
just gotta
fall in love with the grind.
You just gotta wake up at 5 a.m. and you gotta work. You gotta hustle and you don't go to bed until 5 a.m. And you gotta hustle.
First, you wake up at 4:30 a.m. You dip your face in a bowl of ice water. You invest $6 more in Trump pussy coin, and you fucking guys watch Severance.
Chill on Ashton Hall, though. He's fine.
But
He's chill. He's chill.
But, like, it's just so like, it's so interesting to see how this idea of a work-life balance is shifting, because, like, stay with me, folks, our parents' generation, right?
They love the work.
They love work, but that is because they were never offered an alternative. And as, like, our parents had kids and, like, all of that, like, I had, like, very old parent. Not very old, like, they're not decrepit. Like, but my mom's, like, 66, I'm 23. But she always had this idea of, like, you have to work, you have to have a full-time job, or you don't deserve anything. And I feel like that is generationally a very big thing of, like, if you don't work, if you don't, for lack of a better term, this is another Succession reference, but, like, sell your soul, like, you don't deserve to have a successful and happy life. And a lot of a lot of people that I know and, like, my friends, like, especially in school, had the same idea of, like, and, like, I went to art school, we all had this idea of, like, fuck, we're not gonna get a job, and we don't deserve to then thrive in life because we're just gonna be this starving artist stereotype. And then as we go into the workforce, we've been bogged down by, like, our parents enforcing the hustle on us, or, like, even just the older generation thinking that we need to be working as hard as they are, with the fact that fucking COVID and everything else that, like the social awkwardness of, like, coming out of that and, like, growing up in that. And, like, no one, like, everyone older than us says no one wants to work anymore. No one's hiring. We are all dead. Like, we're all...
Everything's getting more expensive and none of our wages are going up.
Yeah.
Literally. And it's gotten, like, babe, when did we start Severance? Like, for the very first time? Like, months ago.
Say January? Like, end of January?
Yeah, like, my answer, like, then was, aside from, like, my life that I currently have, like, thinking of just, like, work, my answer then was, like, no, I wouldn't sever myself. But now, I'm so tired from my job, I'm so tired from life, fuck, I might sever myself. And, like, it's just, like, I kind of understand, like, this kind of, like, obviously I understand, like, the Marxist point of view of it, of, like, you do have to work to have the life.
Yeah.
But I also, like, it's very hard to not have, like, a very utilitarianism perspective of, like, I need to be happy or else I won't work.
Yeah.
I won't
like,
function. And I feel like Severance kind of just forces the question of, like, would you rather completely try to avoid the like emotional toll it takes to like discipline yourself and get up and work, like would you rather avoid that, or like are you gonna go through it? Because you see like Dylan trying to get another job like while he's already at Lumen, and like it just kind of
The door store.
it's so good. It's such a
So
good
how
scene.
long have
It is
you
a
been
great
interested?
Since I was a kid.
I think since I was
like 5.
Yeah.
No, because he goes, what age?
Oh, yeah.
5. What's your favorite door? Oh, pocket.
And then he like made a joke about doors, and the employer got pissed.
Well, no,
He said he was severed, and then he was like, "Get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here."
But like that scene specifically is like there's no scenes in Severance that don't have a reason to be there, and like I feel like that scene just kind of serves to like illustrate the fact that like you can have a job that's killing you, and then you just have to find another one. And it was this gray and brown fucking boring ass door place. And like the thing I find so interesting about Severance is like they got rid of doors, you know? Like it's this weird parallel that I don't really know what it means yet, but again, Severance is very meaningful. I feel like that has something to do with something.
Yeah.
But it's just this idea of like Dylan tried to get another job, and it sucked the soul out of him to even go through it. And as soon as he said one thing about like he has a little chip in his brain, he was like, fuck now. And I think like, call me insane for making this parallel, but I think that that's just kind of like a nod to like, you can get a job interview, you can be going so well, but as soon as they find one itty bitty thing wrong, fuck now.
Yeah,
like I'm convinced I didn't get a job at a flower shop because I was like, I don't have my own reliable transportation, I can't afford a car. And they never called me back, they completely ignored me. And it's so hard to get a job when you have one itty bitty thing wrong.
Yeah. True.
And Severance just kind of like super highlights that, because even when Mark like was trying to reintegrate, he couldn't even work his job. You know what I mean? Like any Mark didn't even get time to be alive. So I just think like Severance just does such a complexly excellent job at just like being like so meta, because like also if you want to work on a show like Severance, you have to sell your fucking soul, and you're gonna have to sever yourself, essentially, for lack of a better phrasing, because the world of production fucking sucks and it's cutthroat and they want you to die. Like coming from someone who studied production, if you get into production, they want you to die. And like it's just such a complicated thing, because I think you were saying, babe, the other day that like you're almost jealous of Severance sometimes, because like how do they do something so like that? You know what I mean?
I get that.
And I feel like that's just a testament to like how complex they bring up certain issues. And like I also feel jealous at times, because then I'm like, I know I can make that, but no one's gonna then produce it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just so crazy that the idea for Severance and everything that happens in Severance is really simple. Main character, grief-stricken. If he can take away 8 hours of 5 days of his week, he's gonna do it. Dylan feels like a loser. If he can take out 8 hours of 5 days of his week, he's gonna do it. These are all intrinsically very simple ideas, but the means of which that they execute them is so multi-layered and fucking fascinating. But I want to ask like what your guys' favorite episodes are, like specifically. If you don't remember, like, the exact number, then you're just like, whatever.
Mine, or actually, were you gonna...
No, go ahead, go
ahead. Mine was, season 2. Because I'm between 2 right now, but I'm gonna say right now that it's episode 7 of season 2 was my favorite.
Yeah.
It's
so
like,
good.
I mean, you
Wasn't
guys
it
know
filmed
which
at
2 is.
Hofstra?
Yeah, parts of it were actually filmed at, Nassau.
Really?
Yeah, I think in the library.
Huh.
Yeah, when Mark and Jem were that was Nassau.
Wow.
Shout out.
Yes, shouts out as always to NASA. But yeah, that was because I obviously I liked seeing like what Mark and Gemma were up to before like everything with Lumen or whatever. Like I like seeing that obviously, and
But it wasn't even before Lumen.
but like you know what I mean before all of it happened.
And the way that episode is shot is fucking
I'm
beautiful.
Blanking on the director's name, but
as far as I know, she like that was her first time directing a major episode
last night. Yeah, which is like
can you get a fact check on that? before I say
that
more.
That is true. I just want to find her name.
Like
She's
that
the
episode
cinematographer.
is so fascinating because like you see like the compilation of Mark and Gemma like being happy, and it is so like the film grain, the warmth, the saturation. It was
shot.
Fucking gorgeous, and it perfectly encapsulates how happy they were before Lumen completely fucked them over. And I can't wait to like. I feel like season 3 will give us an episode of why and how they did that. Why was Gemma chosen? Which I have a theory about that I came up with last night because I was stoned, but I'll put a pin in it for now. But yeah, episode 7 of season 2 is fucking fascinating. My favorite is still Woe's Hollow, episode 4. Fucking incredible from start to finish. I remember watching it weekly, and it's starting with just Irving in the middle of this icy fucking like snowy lake.
What is the show even about, bro?
Because episode 3, they didn't fucking lead into that at all. Like it was something that just happened. It was so cool. And I was like thinking recently, I was like, okay, what the fuck did the Audis like sign up for? Were they aware of exactly what was good, like what was up with like this forest and everything? And what happened after the Glasgow block got let down? Like, what about the other indies? Did they get turned into their Audis? That episode made me think a little bit too much. But the fact that Helly was secretly Helena the entire time is very gut-wrenching.
Yeah, that was...
It's kind of fucking insane. And a point that I had that I was talking about with Chelle the other day is that I almost have a problem with it because, like I was saying at the beginning of the episode, Helly was the driving force of season 1.
Yeah.
So you inadvertently remove her from the first 4 episodes, and then from 5 to 10 she isn't given a lot. And it's like because she's so good at being like the centralizing figure of the show. And it's just a little sad that she didn't get to like be that again, but I think we're heading for that again, which is really cool given how season 2 ends. Which that's a conversation in and of itself. Are you guys frustrated? Are you guys happy? What the fuck are you thinking? Especially you, because you just watched it.
Yeah, you can't start. I gotta think about it for a second. You can't, because like you can't start with me.
Initially, I was very frustrated. Because I was like, fuck. Took like 16 episodes 19 episodes for us to get Gemma out of this building. Like, the viewer in me was like, finish line, here we go, oh, we're right there, ah, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, the 1 yard line.
You fucker. But then I realized thematically, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
He was never going to leave the building. He was so obviously sold on the fact that Audi Mark maybe, like, wasn't fully lying to him, but he definitely didn't think he was going to exist.
The conversation still, like, put him off, like he was not going to...
So I can't blame any Mark at all for making that choice, and it's beautiful seeing 2 innies make a decision fully for themselves, and I do not think it was Helena at the end whatsoever. I think it was just as much Helly as like any Helly. Helly made her decision the same way Mark made her decision. If Mark was going to run away with Helly wasn't going to be like, no, Mark, go for your Audi.
Yeah.
No, they want to live. They want to live together. So of course they're going to fucking choose each other, and it's beautiful because it feels like the first time in the entire show that they had a choice.
Yeah,
and they fucking did it, and they did it for themselves, and I love it. And the only thing that I'll see eye to eye on with people who are like, oh, it was Helena at the end, the look that she gave Gemma as they were turning the curve of the hallway. It looked a little malicious at first. I was like, why does she have that look in her eyes? And then I realized it's just pity. It's just pity. There's nothing more to it. I don't think it was evil at all. I don't think it was antagonistic. She felt bad for her. That's what I think that look was for. If you go back and watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy with the ending, and I'm very excited for the next season. And who knows if there's going to be more Severance after that? Who the fuck? We could very well be 30 years old watching Severance still.
I don't know. I feel because I do agree with what you say. I feel like I don't know where you go after like a third.
What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah. So I don't think you even said your favorite episode. I think we moved.
For
I've got skipped over.
Go back.
But I was gonna say, from minutes ago, the creators Dan Erickson and the cinematographers Jessica Lee Gange. It's a French last name. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Jessica Lee, if you're watching this,
Yeah.
because we know you're watching, we know you're a fan of the show. Shouts out. We'd love to have you on.
But my favorite episode is season 2, episode 9. Simply because it was just like, it made me cry the whole time. It was just this emotional, like emotional throw up the entire time.
Yeah, they really fucking just hit you with, like, out of fucking nowhere. It's not out of nowhere, but, like, you know what I mean.
It
like,
was from somewhere, but it was still out of nowhere. I think I was just screaming at, oh no, what's his name? Zoolander.
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
I just kept going, Ben Stiller, you fuck! And then people got mad at me in my TikTok comments. And they were like, well, actually, Dan Erickson did it. And I was like, I don't want to get mad at him. He's a genius. I can get mad at Zoolander.
Yeah.
It's funny getting mad at Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In that episode, you have fucking Dylan and Gretchen and Irving not being able to get with Bert. It's so fucking gut wrenching.
Yeah.
Continue.
Oh. No, yeah, it was like that. Yeah, that's exactly why I was going to say it was. There's just something about it that, like, it begs the question of, like, 1, does love transcend Severance? 2, was Gretchen actually cheating on Audi Dylan?
Cheating's a weird word for it.
Which,
It's fucked up.
I don't want to, I don't want to talk too much again, but maybe it could be for a different time or something, or I could save it for my brain soup, but, it just begs a lot of questions, but I do think, Helena, I think it was Helly in the beginning of the episode, and then when she went back down and up the elevator after James Egan, like her dad was like in the weird doorway scene, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think Helly went back down the elevator and then went back up, and then after Mark came up, she came up and, like, hugged him. I think that's how it went. Yes, it was how it went. I'm correct. But I think Helena came back up, and it was Helly in the beginning, but I think Helena came back up because just the sentiment of Irving saying during the Woe's Hollow episode that Helly was never cruel. I think that holds such a testament, because I feel like, yes, Helly would have kind of had this moment of, like, choosing, like, herself over, like, what was right, but I also think that, like, Helena, if it was Helena, I think she did a damn fine job of pretending that she was Helly, and I think ultimately she chose to be selfish, because the point of Helly was never cruel. I think if Helly was in that situation, 1, she wouldn't have looked at Gemma like that. 2, she, like, I don't think she would have ran away with Mark. I think she would have interacted with Gemma at the very least.
I don't think so.
But I just, like, my biggest point of it is Helly was never cruel, and Helly or Helena, whoever Britt Lauer was at the end where she gave that look to Gemma, that was cruel.
Yeah.
Like, you said it was pity. I don't think it was pity. I think it was cruelty. Because, like, as someone who's, like, I've been given that look in a similar context before in my youth. Like, this look of, like, choose one or the other, and I got chosen, and I'm looking at the other person, and vice versa. And, like, it just gave me this feeling of, like, I fucking won, bitch. Because, like, the thing is, like, Gemma will be fine. You know what I mean? Like, she knows her house. What? Or did he move? Guys.
He lives in a severed neighborhood, or, like, Severance housing.
But even
housing.
still,
Yeah.
like, I feel like Gemma doesn't inherently need Mark to be fine on the outside. So I think Gemma will be fine, and I think that's what Helly was considering, or Helena. Because, again, I think if it was Helly, I don't think she would have been cruel.
I would just be really unimpressed with the writers if they were like, gotcha, Mark. again. Da, 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 da. Quite literally, my problem would be, why again? You just did this. That's why I don't think it's her. Also, from like a writing perspective, these people are smart, and there's nothing smart about doing what you just did again.
Well, I feel like there is, because the first time they did it, it didn't come to fruition really. Like Helly's
there was
goal,
there was no like logical, like they didn't expect Irving to almost fucking kill her. Like there would have been a conclusion if like nothing had.
Exactly.
She's a fucking Egan.
Like Helena's goal with doing that was to fuck Mark and to be close with him, but she didn't realize that Irving would like figure her out and everything. So I feel like a very interesting and smart way to kind of open season 3 would to be reveal like, yeah, that was Helly in the beginning. James like was like, no, this is the final day of Cold Harbor. I want my daughter in this room. Put her back up there. Helena had to pretend her very best, and now season 3 opens with Helena and Mark trying to figure it the fuck out, and I think Helena will figure out a way, because she can get up to the severed floor without getting severed. I feel like Helena will find a way to get Mark down without him being severed. And it will be... But he would still... You know what I mean? Like, he would sever on the way down, but she can get him up normal Mark.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
You know what I mean? So I think she's gonna try to convince... I don't know. My favorite argument, though, is the, like, Dylan Gretchen thing, but again, I don't want to keep rambling.
We love Severance.
Yeah, it's
Mr. Milchick. How have we not mentioned him yet?
Well, we brought him up quickly at the beginning. Yeah,
he's like, what a fucking goat, dude. Like Tremel Tillman.
Yes,
I got that.
I gotta
right.
follow him on Instagram now because I was scared for spoilers.
I hope he does not get typecast. He's in the new Mission Impossible, and he looks like Mr. Milchick. He sounds like Mr. Milkchick, and Milkchick. My God, Tremel Tillman. Like in season 1, there wasn't that much of a reason to like him until he was silly for the dance party.
Yeah.
But after that, like as the show progresses, and you see like you kind of get little like sprinkles of context as to why he is the way he is. And I'm going to navigate this next part very, very gently because I am white, but Mr. Milchick is a very strong like character of like how horrifying it is to not be white in a white dominated workforce. Like the way they virtue signaled to him with like the reimagined canon of Keir Egan and all the Egans being black, like that's completely fucking insane.
Yeah, that's
there's no justifying that. It was either Miss Huang or the assistant girl that he was talking to about like
Natalie.
You're right, it was Natalie. Like how did you feel when they gave you
non-answer
your version? Yeah,
just didn't even fucking answer.
I also think that is like strong evidence that he's gonna have a redemption arc. Like that's like
I feel it. I can fucking feel it.
Talking to fucking what's his name, Mr. Drummond.
Yeah,
with that scene that they have together.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh, the way he stood up for himself.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so fucking cool. Eat shit, Mr. Drummond.
Yeah.
Because he, even though his severed crew is like a bunch of fuck ups and they keep making him look bad, you still need to respect the man.
Yeah,
he's still the fucking director of the severed floor, and the way they treat him is awful. Granted, he's not a great guy.
No, but
he's within his rights to demand respect.
Yeah.
And that scene, devour feculence. Mr. Milchick is my favorite character. He pretty much became it overnight. Mine was my favorite was Irving, and he's right there. He's like number 2. He's a solid fucking spark plug number 2. I love Irving. But Mr. Milchick, man, and his ass is so fat. Shout out
Dude.
Tramel Tillman if you're watching
Tramel Tillman,
this.
if you're watching, because we know you're watching, know
Yeah.
you're a fan of the show. We'll fly you out. We'll pay for all the
He does not need us for
all the
paper
travel.
shit.
We would love to have you on.
But he's great. He's great. Do we have any least favorite characters?
I don't know.
Don't no one say Rickon.
Probably Rickon.
Well, Rickon's my funny answer. If I had to give a real answer, probably the dentist or like doctor or whatever.
Oh my God.
That guy.
That guy is I have such a fucking hate boner for him. Like
Yeah.
that's why he's there. That's
Like-
why he's fucking there.
Yeah.
Who else didn't I like? Yo. Obviously Mr. Drummond, because he's like a huge fucking
Yeah,
like psycho. The way he went out. Fucking
That's
so
like
cool.
that is like fucking like if I like try to think of like different scenarios that could like happen with the idea of just Severance as a whole, like I could never come
Nope.
up with that. That is fucking genius.
That was
That's
one of the
like-
most creative deaths I've seen in media in a very long time.
Yeah,
that was
that's-
really that was amazing. And there's something to be said about violence and the finale of the show.
Yeah.
Severance did not have a lot of
Yes, not a lot of it.
Like, you had a couple like big outbursts here and there, and I guess Helly tried to kill herself. That was pretty violent. In a sense, violent. You know what I mean?
But like,
Well, there was no blood.
Yeah.
yeah.
The last episode was the first time we saw blood.
most violent
When
was
Dylan
like
bit
Dylan
Milchick.
like lunged at him. Like that's like the most we'd seen up to that point.
I remember, like, fresh off the coattails of the finale for the first time when it aired, I was talking with Chelle about it, and I was like, this show did not have a lot of violence in it, so when we saw it, I was really fucking taken aback.
Yeah.
In a way, in a very, like, I don't know how to describe it, but in a very full circle way, the show does kind of criticize violence on television, because the violence that we see in the finale isn't that bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad.
Compared to everything else in the show, yeah.
But, like, shit, like, you kind of, when you remove, like, I'm not removing anything. Hold on, what the fuck am I trying to say here? But, like, when you are watching the show and then you get to the finale, you see all this blood and all this, like, gratuitous fucking violence, it takes you out of it, like, holy shit, like, this is awful.
Yeah.
And then you think about everything else you consume, all the other movies and TV you watch, and it's like, I'm really desensitized.
Yeah.
Which is something that I hope they snuck in there, because that's how I took it.
That's definitely that's interesting. That's like
Fuck Mr. Drummond, though. He deserved that.
true. That's true. That's
Such an asshole. What do you
His
say about
tattoo was so good though.
That's
the
true
frolic?
also, yeah.
The way when he walked into the goat killing room.
Yeah.
And the way he said, has it verve,
Yeah.
has it wiles. Talk fucking normally. Don't get mad at Milchick for using big words when you talk like, has it wiles. What do you mean? Such an asshole.
I also think I know it's like so detailed, but like I had to look up the four like tempers of them because I didn't want to mess them up.
Yeah.
Frolic, woe. What the fuck
Malice
is it?
and Dread.
Yeah.
But I find it so interesting that Mr. Drummond had
He had
Frolic.
Frolic.
Because I feel like
Why?
I don't know if like I'm on the ball with this or like slightly off, but I feel like Mr. Milchick, Miss Huang, Natalie, and Drummond all kind of represented like the four temperaments in their own way. And like I feel like I'm missing the mark because Mr. Drummond had because Mr. Drummond had Frolic tattooed. But like just in the fact of like in the last couple episodes we saw Milchick saying like kind of like chanting at himself like grow up.
Mm-hmm.
And he like made Miss Huang like kind of like slam her toy.
the water like ring game.
Yeah. And I would say that Mr. Milchick represents like Frolic the most, but he like also is kind of like taking that away from Miss Huang. And I just find it like so interesting because I feel like on the severed floor, like the only tempers that are felt or experienced are Woe, Frolic, Dread, Malice. And like, cause they all like have, like they're all broad things.
Yeah.
So I feel like they all pertain to like each thing, and like whenever each innie feels something besides the four tempers, it kind of like goes wrong for them. And I feel like that's such like, again, like the show is so layered, and I think it's so interesting to like just tap into like, because like there's even like Cobell and the fact that this was all her design. Like I don't think that the show is just going to be 3 seasons because they set up a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Here. Also stuff with like, I know this is like such a random poll, but like also like Petey and stuff. Like, isn't there still like a little bit more there that like we could kind of like grab onto?
They did kind of like half-ass Mark's reintegrate. Like they didn't ever really finish.
They did the first part with like the vibrating salt.
Yeah,
and then she flooded the chip. But there's still like a third stage, like the last step
and then
to fully reintegrate.
Whatever her name is left before
Regabi.
Regabi, that's right.
Dr. Regabi. I have. This is like such an insane connection that I'm making, but it goes back to Professor Powers at my school.
Hey, shouts out as always.
This is my last like specific thing and like completely random connection I want to make between Severance and another piece of literature. I think it was last semester he had us read, Dr. Powers had us read this short story that I'm forgetting what it's called, but not really important. And the focal point of it is that there's this old man. He's not old, but he's towards like the latter half of his life. He's in like his 60s, and he's like nobody. He's mentally just like not there, and he's like a fucked up individual, and he learns that he is gay. Pretty cool. And he
learns that like
he like literally learns that he's gay, and he has sex with his coworker. And by the end of the story, he like once he comes, he kind of like all those decades of life that he missed out on manifest, and he can only like his last thing in this short story is he's trying to speak, but it only comes out as growls. And that's kind of what Milchick does when he's telling himself to grow up.
Yeah.
He starts like with a full sentence and then a shorter sentence and then grow up.
Yeah.
Grow up. Grow.
Even when he's
grow.
Even like in the finale when he's like trying to get them to let him out, like he's like running, like kicking the door or whatever, and then like he's fully like moving back and jump and like elbow or shouldering the door or whatever.
It's this
like
animalistic
and the way he like jumps up on the fucking thing after.
He fucking it's so fucking cool. But it like Milchick and this guy from the short story I read
are the same guy.
They like tap into this weird catharsis of like an animalistic growl that I don't know what it means because I'm still not that good at analyzing stuff. I'm just here to talk about it and make connections. But I thought that was really cool. Like a piece of literature that was from decades ago that has absolutely nothing to do with Severance, and it says one little detail that I thought was kind of cool. Yeah. That's my final like specific point on the show, but everything the show touches on between like the work-life balance and like post-capitalism and means of coping with grief. It is all so beautiful, and if you have any interest or relation to any of these characters or ideas, do yourself a favor and fucking watch it. Please.
Agreed.
Yeah?
Well, yeah. Again, I don't want to keep rambling. I don't know how long we've been going. I feel like I talked too much this episode.
That's not true.
That was my any. I don't know what that was.
Oh, right. We can go through our letterbox top 4.
Yeah, we had.
Yeah. Before we go, we're gonna give you guys a little look at our letterbox top 4 and kind of get a glimpse into what we like, maybe what we don't like, but especially what we like, because you know you're watching a show about people talking about movies and TV. You might as well get an idea of what they're into.
Of what we like.
Billy, go ahead.
No.
All right, I'll go first. You can follow me on Letterboxd at KelpoGrits54. And my Letterboxd top 4 is in no specific order, really, except for number 1. There's Fallen Angels. I do want to get the director's name correct because I don't want to be insulting.
Why am
Is it Wong Kar-wai?
Wong Kar-wai.
Wong Kar-wai. fucking incredible movie from the mid-90s. It's such a weird melting pot of a movie, because you have the noir aesthetic and you have themes of grief, loss, and love all coupled up into this just weirdly directed, flashy, gloomy, just beautiful fucking film that I think everybody needs to see. I also have Interstellar, which is definitely my number one, like, everybody loves movie. Like, everybody who's seen Interstellar loves Interstellar.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's a fucking contrarian with that movie unless you're a fat dork.
True.
Fuck you.
That's true.
Interstellar literally just gives me meaning to live.
Yeah.
Every time I watch it, it makes me want to keep living. So I like it because of that. It's incredible how much of an odyssey this movie is. Like, it is 169 minutes, and that's including the credits. So take away the credits, and you have, like, the first 45 to 50 minutes of this movie take place fully on Earth and set the tone and story for the rest of the movie. And, like, fuck, for the entire... You've seen it, right?
Yes.
Yes. Are you Mad Maxing me?
No, I have seen it. I promise.
And for the entire rest of the runtime, it just feels like this never-ending odyssey epic through space and touching on themes of love being the fourth dimension. Or fifth dimension?
Fifth dimension.
Fifth dimension. Which I think is kind of a horseshoe theory. Low IQ, love is the fifth dimension. High IQ, love is the fifth dimension. Don't question me on that. It just makes sense to me. Next is Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me. I have nothing to say about this that hasn't been said already. Watch Twin Peaks. Watch the movie. Watch season 3. It changed my life.
Yeah.
It will probably change yours. And my number one pick... And I'm really glad that last year it wasn't proved as recency bias, because I still love it just the same. But I can say pretty confidently right now that my number one favorite and most important movie to me right now is Dune Part 2. I think if you added one more second to that movie, it wouldn't be as good. If you took away one less second from that movie, it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
It is truthfully... word for word, second for second, shot for shot.
Wordsworthian,
emotions recollected in tranquility. It is perfect. I have nothing to say. I'm jealous that I will never make something as good as it. It is perfect. A movie is allowed to have some fluff and some fat and some room to breathe. But Dune is literally a fucking roller coaster of perfection from start to finish. Watch part 1. It might seem boring. It's not. You're just lame and you have a TikTok blah 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 blah. Watch the first one. Watch the second one. I love Dune. Thank you.
That's true. That's facts.
Who's going next?
Oh, Billy, do you want to go next?
Okay, all right. I don't have as much to say about mine. Mine are in order, so I'll go from 4 to 1. Number 4, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this or heard of this one. It's called Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me. Yeah, same thing. I can't say anything that hasn't already been said. Watch Twin Peaks, and then watch it again.
Yeah.
Number 3, The Lighthouse.
Fucking awesome.
I'll always say I am Robert Eggers' strongest soldier. I will be there day one for every movie.
We gotta rewatch The Northman.
We do. We do have to rewatch The Northman. And we have to watch The Witch also. Number 2, City of God. I watched that one last year. I was
good.
like, it's so funny because I was literally just like looking for a random movie to watch too. It wasn't even like I like had heard of it beforehand or all. I was just fucking browsing Amazon. I thought, oh, this looks good.
That's a
And
movie
it's
that
like,
also feels like an odyssey to me.
and
Like,
it's
so
just
much
one
happens.
of the best things I've ever seen.
It's so good.
And my number 1 pick, which is like, I kind of hold it in a... It's still my favorite, but I kind of hold it in a different regard from everything else I just said. My favorite of all time is Singin' in the Rain from 1952. It's just like... It's the movie where, like, it's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. And it just cheers me up every single time. Like, no matter what. Like, literally the lowest point in my life. And it'll just, like... It'll fix it. So, yeah, that's... Like, I kind of have to.
Yeah.
There's not much I can say there.
Can we sing it or do we get copyright? Let's do 2 seconds worth of singing in the rain. I'm singing in the rain.
Okay. we sped it up there, so we're fine at the end.
Exactly. My
You
top
finally
4.
updated yours.
Yeah.
Oh, you changed yours? I didn't see that.
I don't know if they're in order. I don't care enough to explain if they are or not. But because my bio says so, I'm a Mad Max fan account.
That's true.
And I just tell my zero fans if a movie is like Mad Max or not, and then I review it. But so my fourth is Mad Max Fury Road. It's up there.
Bonkers. It's banana pants.
I love Mad Max Fury Road.
a
I
movie
watch
about
it to go to
driving.
bed. It is. It's every single second of it is absolutely perfect.
It's also kind of like Dune in that way. You like you tack on an extra second or you take away a second, it's not as good.
Yeah, I agree.
But my difference is if they made it 10 hours longer, I would still watch it. It would be perfect.
That
I love
is
Mad
true.
Max. Just make the road longer.
Truth news.
I want more of it.
Fury Highway.
You know, I'll save my actual favorite movie for last. And then I have in my little second spot Everything Everywhere All at Once. I know that was like it was like a big like whoa when it came out.
Whoa.
But like same thing with like recency bias. I just think I keep that movie in my top 4 because I think it's so spectacular and it really got me through school, not in its content because it made me sad. And I can't think about it too hard without sobbing.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. But
Just start thinking about it.
yeah. But I keep it in my top 4 and I think about it often because it really got me through school because it was edited fully on Premiere Pro.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
That's sick as hell. We use that.
We use that.
Type shit.
And when I was going through school, I majored in integrated media arts. So I used Premiere Pro multiple hours all the time every day for 4 years. And it just gave me the like oomph of like fuck, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. If they can make shit like this on this, I could keep doing the damn fucking thing. And in a similar vein of like deeply inspired me, it's a short film. It's 20 minutes. Asparagus by Suzanne Pitt. Or is it Susan Pitt? I think it's Suzanne. I don't care. Well, it says Susan, but other places say Suzanne. I don't know. But this video specifically opened, or David Lynch asked for it to open every showing of Eraserhead when it was in theaters. So it close ties to David Lynch, but I simply saw this once. I think my old professor Dakota Nanton showed it to me. Name dropping in full because he's the coolest.
Shouts out.
Of course. But this it's a big old symbol. It's a 20-minute symbolism for fucking. And if you don't know anything about me and my art is a 20-minute symbolism for fucking.
That's true. That's
like every way that like genitalia and like phallic and yonic symbols are like illustrated in this film. It's all like stop motion, all like hand drawn, yada yada. It just like I just started painting that way and I didn't stop until I graduated and I still do, and it just like I don't even know what it means to me quite yet, but it meant something very large and it made my entire thesis like my thesis show was called Orgy X Massacre, so
Awesome.
all because of Suzanne Pitt.
that was
And
a
then-
sick ass show. That was
Oh my god, thanks.
that was great.
Thanks. I have a website, shellrose.myportfolio if you want to see it. Anyways. And then my favorite movie ever in the entire world ever is The Doom Generation by Gregor
The
Rocky.
June generation.
The Doom Generation by Gregor Rocky.
The Uncle June generation.
Yeah. This
That's me on the
movie.
fucking TV.
This movie is like a triplet with Nowhere and Totally Fucked Up, also by Gregor Rocky, obviously.
Yes.
But Doom Generation itself is just perfect. No notes, perfect.
Can I get an order
The-
of barbecue beef chunks?
Yeah, that'll be $6.66.
So nasty.
Sunshine. Yeah, but I love it. I've watched it a bajillion times. My professor still hasn't forgiven himself for telling me about it because he was traumatized by it, and I became deeply, deeply obsessed with it to the point where I made him sit with me and figure out how to code a song from the Doom Generation into my VR piece, and he almost lost his fucking mind because he was sick of the Doom Generation at that fucking point. But I'll never get sick of it. My favorite version is the full uncut version on Criterion, but you gotta pay money for that, and that fucking sucks.
I'll send you guys my login.
Shout out to Criterion.
Do you actually have a Criterion
Yeah.
account?
Yeah.
Send me a login.
Man, we like a whole lot of different stuff here. Like genre-wise, I'm like a Swiss Army knife. I'll watch and enjoy pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Except like I wasn't raised on like I promise this is not me trying to sound pretentious. It was literally the way I was raised, but like I wasn't really raised on like corny like B movies. Like give me some as an example. I'm totally fucking blanking.
Did you say the B movie?
No, like B movies. Like, you know, they're like corny.
Well, like, are you talking like slashers? Like
No, like
kind
of
classics.
no, kind of like in the range of like Grown Ups, Dodgeball.
oh,
like,
okay, like comedies.
know-
You're talking,
Comedy?
like
Yes, I can't describe the genre that I don't really fuck with because like
I
we're
think
watching
it's comedy
no because we're watching Final Destination and that's like those are considered like B movies.
and kitschy movies.
Yes, I wasn't raised on those, so I find it hard to like thoroughly enjoy them now. But literally everything else, I'm fully dialed in and like locked in, and I will find something to love in everything. So
yeah.
Yeah, there's a big thing of like, cause like I grew up on like obviously I went to art school. I wanted to be an artist forever. But like there's like I was raised on like artistic media, yada yada. But like I was also raised on like Final Destination and like Halloween Town were my like two favorites as a wee.
I watched that back in October. It was pretty good.
I love Halloween Town. Freaked me the fuck out. Traumatized me as a child. When Marnie has to save her mom and her grandma and they're like frozen. Scariest thing
type
ever.
shit.
Sorry, spoilers for Halloween Town. But I think there's like going through 3 years of TAing art school, there's something to be said for like there are kitschy, silly, funny movies that are made to get a laugh, to like get a haha, to make someone feel good. They're feel good movies. Yeah, I think that's a better word, like feel good movies instead of like B movies. And they have it's the same kind of horseshoe thing, and they have as much validity as like the more artistic movies, the more like thought through, whatever, like complex, like metaphorical movies.
Grown Ups versus Eraserhead. Which one are you guys taking?
One of those is half a star and one of those is 5 stars.
It's up to you guys to find out which.
I like the one where they pee at the water park more.
But it's literally like
Oh, Eraserhead.
yeah, exactly. It's literally like Grown Ups and Eraserhead in my brain going through 4 years of boot camp art school. Like in my mind they have the same validity. Like in my mind they're both 5 stars. Well, let me not use Grown Ups because that's not my favorite one, but like let's use The Waterboy Adam Sandler. Let's use The Waterboy Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems Adam Sandler. Those two movies are both 5 equal stars to me because one, like the definition of art is if it makes someone feel something.
Yeah.
And Waterboy Adam Sandler makes me feel all the emotions.
I loved Waterboy, definitely more than Happy Gilmore.
I love Happy Gilmore. Don't talk to me about Happy Gilmore.
No, I liked Happy Gilmore, but Waterboy was fucking amazing.
But like even all of them, like they hold such a special place in my heart. Maybe because I grew up with them, but because they are made to feel good. They're made to make you feel warm. The message getting across is usually something surface level that you can learn in an elementary school.
Don't judge someone by the way they look or sound.
Exactly. And like I feel like that has the same validity as like Uncut Gems, this like heavily produced, like highly edited, like absolute master fucking piece. Because they both make people feel extreme ways. Whereas like I can't really think, like literally I always quote Billy's Letterboxd bio of like I'd rather like a movie than not.
Yeah.
But like I can't even think of any movies, like a lot of action movies will like fall flat for me where like they don't make me feel something. I just think that they're cool, good job.
Yeah.
Like you jumped over a car, nice.
Sick. Yeah, I
like
couldn't
that
do
car
that.
flew. Okay, you ran fast. But like that's where Mad Max differs for me, where it's like it made me feel something so deep in my soul with the color grading and like so inspired of like they took something actiony and obviously very campy from the 80s, whatever, but they took something actiony, made it something more. There was feeling in every second.
Yeah.
There's the story of like a Morton Joe needs to get his prized birthers back, you know, and like there's the story of like Furiosa needs to find the green place of many mothers. It doesn't exist. And like the emotions,
Spoilers.
literally, the emotions aren't like, I'm not sobbing. Do I cry during Mad Max? Yes. But I'm not sobbing. But it has the same validity of like something like Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Even.
Yeah.
But like that's where like I'll see like like, oops, I'm sorry, this is controversial, where, like, Alien, sometimes. I'm like, okay, Alien. The name, I expected what they met my expectations. I saw an alien.
There was an alien in that movie, famously.
Exactly. And, like, certain sci-fi stuff like that, and, like, oh, to bring it back to Severance, sci-fi, nice. Ooh, nice.
Tie back.
But, like, normally I wouldn't like a sci-fi show. Like, me and Sean have been talking about the fact that I don't like Star Wars. Sorry, I don't like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on the couch with two people that really like Star Wars. And I've watched Star Wars, but, like, it's just the fact of, like, I get it. You know? It's the space and the thing, and they fight, and it's the war, and they're in the
take
stars.
it from me!
And, like, unfortunately, I get it. But, like, when I was a kid, I loved Star Trek because there was something more. I fell
that's
in
why
love
you
with
more
the
like Star Wars.
characters.
Yeah.
Everything was more like, you could kind of like second guess everything, but Star Wars is more like good and bad.
Kind of, but
You
it's
know?
more like...
I do
like,
think there is also, like, a lot. There is, like, if you're
it
if you're
exists in
willing
Star
to,
Wars,
there is
too.
stuff to, like, sink your teeth into. It's not entirely, like...
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving Star Wars another chance, guys, don't even worry. But it's just, like, and this is me and my opinions, but, like, sometimes certain things will fall short for me in terms of, like, I wish the thought was more than the production, if that makes sense. And, like, that's why my top 4 are my top 4, because, like, that's where it comes into. And I consider editing as part of thought, because I studied editing, so maybe I'm biased. But, like, action movies are at this bottom of the horseshoe where I'm like, they care about the explosions, they care about the wah! And, like,
Wario.
I'll even, like, unfortunately, like, let's take a movie that I really like. Let's put Long Legs with Nicolas Cage in that bottom where, like,
Fire ass movie.
such a great movie, but I feel like the biggest point of it was to be like, fuck. And I didn't, like, I'm not sitting here thinking, like, Long Legs, wow. But, like, I am sitting here every day thinking Mad Max, wow. Fucking, like, what other movie did
Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain, wow. But, like, even, like, Planet of the Apes, wow. Like, I fell in love with it. I didn't expect to.
I know.
Because it's not just, like, an action sci-fi, like, ooh, monkey, la la la.
It's
and,
all
like,
heart.
it's all just, like, it's just, I love a movie that begs a question, and, like, most action movies don't beg a question. Most sci-fi movies don't really beg a question unless it's, like,
Do aliens exist?
probably, I don't know. But, like...
Hey, Mom, there's something in the back room! Okay.
But
I don't know what
think
song that was.
Aliens Exist by Blink-182.
Thank you.
Yeah. But, I think there's just something to be said for, like, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, or the Planet of the Apes in the whole, begs the question of, do you think you can be friends with the monkeys? And my
Hell yeah.
letterbox was, I would be friends, I can communicate, I can do it. And that's why I fell in love with the movies, because I was like, I'm here.
You see yourself in
I'm
it.
doing it. And, like, my experience with Star Wars is, like, it doesn't ask me a question. If a big spaceman in a suit that was my father, okay. If I had a big sword of light, and, like, I'm not trying to diminish it, I just literally can't remember plot points. If I had a big light, say, okay. Like, there's nothing I can, like, Star Trek was so almost human where I'm like, I can be a Star Trek. I can get in, I can be like, I'm Spock's best friend, and I could be in the spaceship. You know, I can see myself in it. I can see myself in Severance. I can see myself in Succession. I can see myself in all these things.
I hope you don't see yourself in Succession.
Well, I could see myself in Succession in, like, in like, the analogy I made with, like,
Shiv.
being a daughter,
Yeah.
you know? And, like, that feeling of, like, the very feminine daughter feeling of, like, you are expected to be stronger than all of the men around you and the woman that birthed you and everyone else, but also all of the men around you will make you feel like shit all of the time, and the woman who birthed you or the man that helped give birth to you will make you feel like shit all of the time.
Fuck off!
Fuck off!
I could see myself in Succession as, like, in the background, like, maybe, like, a guy, like, getting something out, like, a hot dog cart. I could, like...
Pretty much just Greg.
Yeah,
I could see you-
honestly.
I could see you accidentally getting slapped in the face by a Tom Momgan.
Oh, dude, I wish.
You want to go on your government assigned what you like, what you don't like, movie, film, genre tangent?
I mean, I'm pretty much the same as you. I'll watch anything. And it's like exactly what Chelle said. Like, that's just my entire, like, MO when it comes to, like, movies and rating things is, like, unless it's, like, offensively bad, like, I'd just rather like it. So I'll usually just, like, focus on what I like and just kind of ignore whatever I didn't. And
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe it's not like the most succinct way of reviewing stuff.
No, it's
but
based.
Like,
it's just
whatever.
the
Like,
based enjoyer.
I'm fucking literally, yeah. The enjoyer. That's literally me.
Like, Billy, have you even rated anything? Like, what's your lowest rated thing on Letterboxd?
I believe 4 movies rated
Let's see,
half
and then
star.
we'll get the fuck out of here.
3. I have 3 rated half star. Hold on. I have to see where you can like pull them all up.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Sort by- here, wait.
5, 6. Oh no, guys!
I have 3
no, guys.
7.
I have 3 half stars, and 1 is one I didn't even watch because one of them's the Minecraft movie.
Real. Most of these are things I watched with Eric.
Okay, one of them is I have one real movie that I have rated a half 1 star, which is Doom Annihilation. It's just not I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, 1 is the Minecraft movie, which I didn't watch, and then the last one is episode of Bardock.
Oh my
the
god!
fucking Dragon Ball special.
Yeah, that one's pretty ass. My half stars are Minecraft, Dashcam, and Spookly the Square Pumpkin. And then, like, the offensively bad and not good enough to be, like, funny was Tarot with 1 star.
Yeah.
The Boy and the Heron, didn't like it. 2 stars. Sorry, Ghibli tards. Oh, can't say tard anymore. Venom 3, hilariously mid. Terrifier 2. Red 1. I feel bad for giving Halloween Town 2 stars. I don't know why I did that. I think I just got bored. I can only give it 3, like, now that I'm thinking about it again.
3,
But yeah,
maybe.
most of my stuff is, like, in between 3 to 5 stars. I have a shit ton of, like, 4-star reviews. I love giving things 4 stars.
Yeah, that's...
I've given so many things 4 stars.
Do you guys want to know a crazy secret about me? One of my 2.5 star movies is
Mad
the
Max.
original Mad Max.
Insane.
2.5.
That's kind of insane.
And my rating is 2.5 because I already know there's better. She's just a fresh baby.
Max
Everyone be nice.
Rakatansky. Yeah, the second
my-
Mad Max is fucking nuts.
Yeah, but my half-star reviews are Minecraft movie, Red 1, Mousetrap. I just didn't like Mousetrap.
Offensively bad.
Tarot was half a star. It wasn't even offensively bad. My review was fine. It was fine. My 2 1.5 star films, one is a joke, one is real, is Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers. I gave 1.5 stars.
Flushed away.
Don't spoil it. I hate the Sleepaway Camp movies.
Yeah, they kind of. The
But
first one is like really
The first
like
one's
good.
good.
The first
It's
time
camp.
you watch it, then it's fine. The rest of the times, and then I just don't like the other
Yeah,
two.
the second one I was just kind of unhappy the whole time. I think I fell asleep and like I don't know.
3,
Plus-
I will give a little credit. It
Yeah.
does like just kind of like go off the rails and become funny, which is like I'll always like it more than whatever else.
3
but-
did what Final Destination 5 does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flushed Away, I don't know why I gave it 1.5 stars, but my rating is excellent film. Flushed Away is one of my favorites. And then my biggest like solid like 2 stars, I am so upset that it had to be this way, is Venom Last Dance.
It didn't have a villain.
Because let me
Didn't have a
read
villain.
you guys my review. Imagine this being the first and only piece of Venom media you've ever seen. Now imagine wanting to cry because Venom dies and Memories by Maroon 5 starts playing. Why did they let this
Wait, what
movie
is
out?
it? I'll
It
never
has
forget you,
5
buddy.
redeemable parts. They put it in between freshman film students' best attempt. I was so sad when Venom died.
I'll never
And then it
forget
goes,
you, buddy.
Here's to the ones that we love.
It's so unserious. I also hate when movies don't take themselves seriously because you can be a comedy and take yourself seriously. You're an adult. Like,
Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, this has been another wonderful episode
Coffee and
of
credits.
Coffee and Credits.
Severance.
yeah, no one responded last time in the comments. But guys, let me know if you want me to record an hour-long
Yes.
video of me elaborating on things that I felt too bad to ramble on.
The comments they got lost in the mail, but they were there. They wanted
Yeah,
to.
they mailed
wanted to
in
see.
comments.
They wanted to.
I think I've solidified myself out of the 3 of us as the best reader of words on a screen. So I'm gonna try this, and if I stutter or fuck up, you guys
kill
can
you.
kick me
It's
off the show
over.
and kill me.
Yes.
So, with that being said, thank you for watching. You can find us wherever you stream podcasts at The Salesman After Hours and at Salesman Pod on all socials. That includes Instagram, TikTok. And you can find us on YouTube. You're already watching on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Thank you
You're
for tuning
smart.
in.
You know where to find us.
Fuck
Yeah, we
yeah.
super didn't have a gun to his head while he was saying that.
No.
In a more friendlier way. Find us wherever you stream podcasts.
Ooh, let's integrate back into our Audi form. Guys, let's
Oh
do
my
it.
God,
Let's do
oh my
it.
God.
This will be the cut in the video. Ready?
ready?
Here we go. Bye, guys.
Bye.